Good evening. Welcome to the second episode of the Bicker Bunch. Like the first episode, we're still four people sitting at a table talking about random stuff.
But today is Friday instead of Saturday.
It is Friday instead of Saturday. We have stuff going on tomorrow.
They don't know that.
They do now.
I mean, for you guys, it'll still be Tuesday. But so first off, we want to thank the 7 of you who downloaded it.
We love you.
7.
We love you long time.
Yes. You're the best.
But not too long. I don't last that long.
Well, as long as you love me.
So on tonight, we'll get started with Nick because he's got a pretty funny story that happened to him.
I don't know if it's funny. It's more tragic.
Tragic gets funny usually.
It can be. Well, depending on your perspective. Last night, actually, we'll start with the night before last. Night before last, I got home from work, and Milo had pooed all over his kennel.
Diarrhea.
And his blankets. And
Diarrhea.
yes, like what you had last week.
Everybody gets diarrhea.
Everybody gets diarrhea.
I actually had diarrhea again this week, but that was because of the COVID shot. Continue on.
It's not good. It's not good at all, is it? Did you get the fever?
Nope,
No?
just
Okay.
diarrhea.
Damn, man, I wish that's all
I didn't get diarrhea.
Yeah,
I
neither
only
did I.
got
I think it's
a
just a you
fever.
thing.
Yeah.
No, that's how my body reacts to pretty much every sickness. I don't normally get actually sick. I just shit myself.
That's a real bummer.
It's just not good.
I mean, it's useful. I don't lay up in bed all the time like feeling like shit. I just shit my brains out.
Said I literally feel like shit. No, just...
Okay, continue.
Okay. So, I'm like, oh, crap, I need rice. But it was late. There was no way I was going to get rice that night. So I took Milo to work with me, and he was good most of the day. He had a little mess here and there. Got home about 5:30. I was like, all right, I'm going to order food. So when I get home, it'll be there. So I ordered from our local grocery store. We got like a delivery thing, so it'll be at my house. So I set it up. Boom, boom. Order it. Send it. It's like, okay, we got your order. I'm like, all right, they got my order. 6 o'clock comes. I hit the door.
Hit the door running.
Hit the door running, screaming because I'm there all day. Grab Milo. Get home. Food's not there. I'm like, okay, they get backed up. It happens. Whatever. Okay, cool. So I said, well, I'm hungry. And I ordered food for myself as well as rice for Milo because, rice and dog diarrhea, it's always a good thing.
It works for human diarrhea, too.
It does, yeah, apparently. I mean, it must. It works for everything. Rice is like the
binding.
go-to with
Binding.
with that. It's very binding.
Fun fact.
That's why they call it sticky rice?
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's not.
It's not?
It's a different type of rice.
Oh.
Completely. Well, so I'm like, I order my food. My food comes like within a half hour. I ordered some stuff from what do you call them, DoorDash or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, that's weird that my grocery store shit ain't here. So I go on the grocery store app and I see my receipt and I'm like, this doesn't look right. There's things on here I didn't order, but I thought maybe the computer just screwed up. I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna worry about it. We'll see what happens. This might be entertaining. It might be frustrating. I might be phenomenally pissed, or
all three.
It might be right, or all three. Yeah. Well, so about 7:30 comes, get a knock at my door, and it's a nice girl, the driver. Yes, so I open the door. Hello? She's like, hi, I'm here to drop off your food. And I open my bag, and I make eye contact with her. Now, mind you, I ordered some TV dinners, because I'm a loser. I ordered IPA, beer, it's because my preferred drink. I'm a snob that way. So I'm a snobby loser, right? And a phenomenal shit ton of rice for my dog because he has a sensitive stomach. It is what it is. What I got instead was the saddest thing ever. A 1-quart thing of Chunky Monkey, a 1.5 liters of vodka. Somebody broke up with somebody. I'm just being honest.
You got the breakup package,
right?
Man.
Women's energy drinks, like the women's vitamin energy drinks.
Wait, that's a what?
That's a thing. That's a thing. That's
Yeah.
a thing. It's
Women
like
have their own energy
it's like
drinks?
men's vitamins. Men's have their if you go to the health thing, they got like their own.
That's it. I don't shop at health things.
And then tampons.
Yeah, it wasn't a breakup.
Well, okay,
Is it either a breakup or a period or both?
No, it wasn't a breakup.
wasn't.
You don't need
No.
tampons for a breakup.
You need energy drinks because you're tired all the time. And ice cream you eat a lot, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So,
So what's the vodka? Is the vodka just because?
I mean-
why
Because
not?
we're
Okay.
drunks.
Well,
All women, we just drink.
and it hit me, and of course this is important. I looked up at the driver, and she had a look on her face like, oh. And I went, it's not mine. She's like, it's not. Not arguing with me one bit. She says, you know what? I'll bring it back. I said, okay.
You should have kept
I
it.
said, do you have my order there? She goes, I don't think so. And she left. So I'm kind of pissed off. I text my brother and I tell him this, and he proceeds to remind me, could you imagine the woman who got your stuff, who is either going through her monthly time of the month, or
No, for
just
sure.
went through a terrible breakup, which
Yeah.
Jam says it's the time of the month
Yeah,
for the ice because of the ice cream.
that lady's husband is dead.
or boyfriend, yeah. Like,
She opens that bag. She's like, "Oh, thank God! Here comes my ice cream, and I need my stuff." And what the fuck, you know? Like,
yeah, no, and she gets, like, that poor woman, she just, like, all she wanted was ice cream and vodka, and all she got was TV dinners and rice. Like,
And
and
beer.
beer. None of what she wanted
So
at all.
she gets the stuff, and so I'm like, "That's kind of funny." But then it hit me like I'm mad, I'm stewing, and then I'm like, "All right, whatever." But Matthew said it's quite funny, it's hilarious. And I looked into myself. That driver made a funny look and was way too quick to just take that back, and it hit me. She probably dropped off my stuff to that lady, and probably was like, "Oh, that explains her look." So I was like, "What the fuck?" Then I started laughing to myself, and it was quite funny. But my topic of the day was Amazon rules everybody, and they're going to rule everybody. Because in my pissed
That's a very
offness,
strange segue.
in my pissed offness,
Well, it has to do with delivery.
I ordered rice last night. I said, "Fuck it, I'm annoyed." I ordered my rice. Boom, boom. I got my box of rice at 6 o'clock this morning. Fry's called me at 9 o'clock this morning and said, "Hey, we're going to send you your food since we screwed up." I said, "No, don't bother. I don't need it now. I got a shitload of rice at home. I don't need more." You know?
I bought it on Amazon.
But then I started thinking, that poor woman, just sitting
Oh,
there.
yeah. No, she is not happy.
Like, looking at her poor boyfriend going, "You know what, you're going to the store. You're going to Walmart. You are going to the Walmart, and you're going to go get me this, and this is what I want." And that poor
Walmart.
husband had to walk down that aisle. You know the aisle. You're a married man. You know the aisle.
Yeah. Well, the problem, okay, so like buying tampons, right? If Jam's like, "Hey, I need you to buy me tampons," I'll be like, "Oh, okay, whatever." The only problem is, like, holy shit, there are tons of different kinds of feminine
Yes.
products.
And
Like,
all,
Apparently these
and
were the
all
athletic
different shapes and
ones.
sizes.
oh yeah, like sizes, shapes, flow rate. And I'm like, what? It looks like I'm fucking like starting to do engineering drafting, and I'm worrying about like fucking flow rates and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same with the condoms.
Then you can call your wife and be like, "Hey, how high
No,
is your
no,
flow?"
no. Condoms are.
As complicated as
they're
you want
not
them
one
to be.
size fits all.
Oh no,
No.
there's. I mean,
The only thing that
there's normal, and then there's Magnum.
the
Like
only
that's
thing that
really it.
affects the only affects that is your ego.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Yeah. So, really funny story. In the Navy, when we'd pull into port on the carrier, they would just stack these big fucking laundry bags full of condoms, right?
They knew it was happening.
Yeah, well, everyone, no shit, right? Sailors pulled into port. So, like, one time they stacked the bags up, and just as a joke, they put 3 different bags, and they put small, medium, and large on them.
They were doing a science
The
experiment.
large bag was
obviously.
completely empty, and the small bag was completely full. And I'm like, I know all you motherfuckers. They were all the same. Like,
Nobody's honest with
they were
themselves.
all the same, like, standard government-issued condoms.
They were just doing a test.
Yeah, they were just like, I wonder how we're gonna fuck with these people. And like, yeah, all the large ones were.
Some fucking chop just had to fucking. They're like, "Oh, let's try this shit."
See, I'd be the asshole to grab the small ones just to be an asshole. Like, I'm honest. just walk off the boat.
Well,
I'm
I
glad
mean,
that makes you feel better, Nick.
the thing about being in the
Honesty
Navy,
I'm not understanding how that makes you an asshole.
Just makes me honest.
the thing about being in the military though is like, you can't show your weakness. Right? Everyone in the military has to have the biggest dick in the world, right? Because you're in the military. Even though, like, I went to boot camp, there are plenty of people that do not have the biggest dick in the world in the
I
military.
don't think that's just a military
I just
thing.
have the
That's
biggest.
just-
I just have the biggest balls. That's all.
No, I think I mean,
Well, you want to find out?
Let's
Yeah,
stop
where's this
that right
ruler
now.
from last time? And you guys were gonna measure his
I can't measure my
legs?
balls with a ruler. It's round. Like, I need a pair of calipers or something.
Jam, come measure my balls. Let me get the ruler.
They're about like that big.
These things are like tiny.
Yeah,
They're
you
only
get
like an inch.
you get the measuring tape that you use for fittings.
A little soft-sided tape. We're not going to do
Measure
that.
the
We already did it.
circumference.
But it's just kind of funny that, right? At 10 o'clock at night, I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm pissed off. I can't get rice. My dog's shitting everywhere.
Maybe you should have kept the tampons.
They soak up a lot.
Not gonna lie, that thought crossed my mind.
What if I just stick one of these up there and pull the string, right?
You know, but the poor guy, you know, he's not feeling well. I feel bad. So I said, you know what, I'll order rice on Amazon. And you know, they're like, oh, you can get it the next morning by 7 o'clock. I scared the Amazon guy this morning, by the way.
What,
Because you were awake at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, right.
Nobody
Yeah,
else is up
right.
that early.
6:40 comes, Milo's up. He's like, it's time to go potty. Plus, I really have to go potty. You don't understand. So I'm like, all right. So I get up, get my shorts on, my shirt on. I touch that door handle, and I hear something. I open the door real quick, and the dude's like, holy fuck! Right? Drops my bag of rice. I'm like, dude, you are awesome. I fist pumped him, grabbed the rice, threw it in, took
And then
Milo
you're-
out to go poop.
And then your dog shit on him.
No, Milo did pretty well holding it. He's good now. The rice is an amazing thing.
I told you.
It is an amazing
By
thing.
dick.
You should have just called me. I have like 20 pounds of rice in my apartment. I could have just given you a bag of rice.
Yeah, but see, I'm lazy. I buy the instant rice.
Oh, yeah.
I just gotta nuke it for 90 seconds, and then I put a little bit in his bowl with his food, and he's happy.
I just bought a rice cooker. 'Cause-
Yeah, right. Rice cookers.
Yeah, rice cooker.
You guys
We-
know me, right?
we know, you only
You've
got
met
one
me,
bowl.
right? You've met me. I don't cook.
That's not cooking.
Well, I do.
Yeah, no, like putting rice in a thing and then like using your pinky for the water and you're like, oh, that much water. Yeah, and then I hit the fucking button and then when it goes,
I take the little package, I tear one end, I tear the other, and I put it in the nuker for 90 seconds, and I like, oh look,
The
Milo,
nuker?
you have rice. And
You are-
Are you like 70 years old? You just call it a nuker?
God, you're the saddest
Just
I'm
like
youngest
sad.
old
Just like-
person
Look, we
ever.
just discussed what I ordered last night.
that's true. He admitted it himself.
TV dinners
And the small condoms.
and a small condom.
Oh, you poor bastard.
Hey, you are my brother. We're very, very similar.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
Watch it.
I have another theory too. Is maybe that order was not something anyone ordered. It was what the delivery driver needed.
But he assumed.
Which
Oh yeah, maybe it was the poor delivery driver woman. She
That
was
can
having the
also
bad
explain
fucking
that's
day.
why she was just like, "I'll take that back."
I accidentally brought
She's
up
like,
the wrong
oops, I
thing.
grabbed the wrong bag.
That explains the look too. That could explain the look too, because the look was very like, oh.
Oh shit!
No,
he knows.
I think whenever you hand like, you know, I don't want to be rude, but when you go to your apartment and you open the door, you can tell there's not a woman there.
Yes, I mean, there's a giant picture of Wolverine is like the first thing you see.
That's,
you-
that
you
doesn't
don't
mean
have-
anything
I
anymore.
don't know how that's rude, because, I mean, he admitted he's a lonely, sad...
Only sad.
I mean, he never said lonely. You added that. So
Oh no, I said lonely with the
Oh,
TV
did you?
dinners.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, like, she
Your
probably
wife is correct.
she probably opened the door and was like, "Yeah, there's no women here." He totally didn't order tampons and vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah, you open that apartment door, you're like, this
No, it's
is a man's home.
No, it's-
Not
it's
only
always-
this is a man's home, this is a nerdy old man's home.
there's
This
always
is a bachelor.
This is a bachelor
there's
all
always the
way.
delivery drivers that like they know what's going on. Like, and especially when you order like a shit ton of food, and they just look at you and they're like, "We know there's no one else in there. you're eating all the shit yourself.
You fat bitch.
It may not be all for tonight, but we know you're eating
Did
it
you
all
seriously
yourself."
just order a week's worth of food from Chili's?
Yes, and I'll do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
What do you care? You're getting fucking tipped.
So this, I think this coming week or next week or something like that, there's a we're coming up on a full moon, right? And I saw a news article for it, and it said
That's
it was
the saddest wolf I've ever heard.
it said it was going
Nick
to
Wolf.
be like it said it was going to be like a super blood moon. And like I started thinking, when the fuck did we start naming moons like that, right? Like, because I remember the past few years, out of nowhere, like we're getting Dragon Ball Z moon names. Like,
Kamehameha.
yeah, right. Like all the moon. Well, I mean, that's just Hawaiian, but all the moon names now they're getting ridiculous. So I started digging into it, right? And apparently, like a full moon on each month has a name. There's a worm moon and other things like that. And one of them I thought was absolutely hilarious. It's in November, and it's called a beaver moon.
Beaver moon?
Yes.
I'm guessing that's more of the shape of the tail or the teeth or something.
No, because it's beaver trapping season. And
I was going to say something about the rabbit in the moon.
no,
But they might have mistaken for a
what?
beaver.
no.
The rabbit.
No mistakes the beaver.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't mistake a beaver.
You know what a beaver is. So anyway, in November,
James looking this up right now.
in November of 2016, there was a super beaver moon, and I couldn't help myself. I giggled like a little 12-year-old because I apparently am one.
Yes.
Yep, a super beaver moon. So a super moon apparently is. I came across the website too, and it's the Calgary, Canada, like meteorological site, and they shit on these like moon names and stuff like that because they're like, it's not based in any science. It's stupid. Stop fucking saying it. And yeah, so a supermoon apparently is the closest the moon gets to the Earth in its orbit. And I guess when it's a full moon and that happens, it's called a supermoon. And then you can just tack that on to other shit. So we have like a super blood moon, there's a super blue moon, or a super beaver moon, or a super worm moon. That's one of them.
There's a weather one a couple years ago. I was sitting at work and I can't remember what they called it. It was like some kind of like cold vortex blast.
The polar vortex blast or
Or
whatever
something
it was in New
shit
York.
like that. And I'm saying like, you just made that up. You just made that up to scare the shit out of people. And the guy sitting next to me at work, he's like, no, I think that's an actually thing. I said, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That can't be a thing. So we get on Google, on the Googs.
This is what Nick actually does at work.
Yes, actually, this is what Nick pretty much does at work. He just does it for way too many hours a day. And we looked it up, and we're like, holy shit, it's actually a thing. But it was not totally adopted until like a year or two prior. But it was a term that meteorologists use to describe some kind of wind blast or whatever that came from the atmosphere.
I mean, meteorologists change stuff all the time. Like they just started naming winter storms. Like you got fucking Winter Storm Bob. Like,
Well-
like why do we need to name winter storms? They already have enough shit with
You
hurricanes.
mean Blizzard Bob?
Yeah, Blizzard
No, well,
Bob,
it's
sorry.
winter storm. They
I mean,
named
it's
the winter
winter
storm.
storm.
No, it should be Blizzard Bob.
Well, I saw a statement too from a meteorologist that that kind of made me laugh, right? And he said it's going to be a worse than average hurricane season. I'm like, well, what's average? I mean, I do think climate change is a thing. I mean, putting that aside. But
Climate changes.
what's average? Explain to me what average is, and then I'll worry. Is average
Well,
10 storms? Is
Well,
average
I mean-
20 storms?
There
Like,
actually
what's
is
your
an average. Like,
There probably
Yeah.
really,
You have to
I mean, there
Google it.
probably is one. It's just putting that on a
Quick
headline
Google the average
is kind of like that
hurricane
state of fear
season.
thing, right?
yeah,
It's scary
well,
shit.
I
Averages.
mean, so they started naming, I don't remember when they started naming tropical storms, but I thought that was a really weird thing that they do now. So they name tropical storms and shit like that. And now we run out of hurricane names. Because last year we made it to like Hurricane fucking Omega or some shit like that. Like apparently we went through the entire fucking alphabet up until like S or something. They don't go beyond a certain point. And then
Yeah, they stop.
and then it goes to like the Greek alphabet, and I was like, man, that's a lot of hurricanes when like we run out of fucking letters. And then I was like, oh wait, we're naming tropical storms now. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, when you
and they
tropical storm
take
Epsilon.
precedence first, right? Yeah, like you get.
well, I mean, tropical storm A is going to turn into Hurricane A if it does turn into hurricane.
Yeah.
It's not like it gets renamed or anything, but if tropical storm A farts out in the middle of the ocean, now we're going on to tropical storm B.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's kind of a weird. Like I just thought that was a weird thing. I was like, why is the media like? What's your average? You know, maybe I'm that one weird nerdy guy. He's like, no, I want to know your averages. So I need to know if I'm actually scared. Is it one over that average, or is it one?
If I had to guess, it'd be like 6 or 7 name storms a year, or something like that, like for an average.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like it's probably a bit more than that.
I mean, just based off of the fact that.
I mean, I lived in
Listeners,
Orlando that
comment
one year.
in. What is the average number of hurricanes?
I mean, if only I had a computer right in front of me.
He does. He does.
And while you're looking that up, I looked up blood moons. That term has been used, like back in like Columbus Day, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a pretty
No.
funny thing.
No, yeah, the names of the moons, like a full moon comes from like old, a lot of it's like old Native American traditions and stuff like that too, like a wolf moon and shit like that.
Apparently, in like 1504, Columbus and his crew got stranded in Jamaica, according to this site. Who knows? But
Columbus never actually stepped foot in America.
They were friendly, and he robbed and they like murdered some of them and whatever, and they were upset and stopped helping them. And he got
Columbus murdered a shit ton of people?
He got his almanac out and could predict, the next blood moon or whatever, and said, on this day, such and such, and then it happened, and the Jamaicans didn't know any better, so they were like, oh God, their gods are mad at us, and they, so he used it to control people.
Oh yeah, they did that with weather a lot. Like I forgot who
People
it was.
who know how it works versus
they
people who
figured out.
don't.
Well, yeah, I mean,
they figured out how to predict eclipses, and they use them as like to their advantage to like you can go to like start wars and shit and like take. Like they use it to their advantage because it's like, oh, the gods are mad at you because the sun's gonna disappear, and you're like, oh shit, the sun disappeared.
So on average, there are 12 named storms, 6 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. So, I mean, that's 9. So the rest of those are just tropical storms that fart out. So 12 is actually the average number. So
Okay.
anything above 12.
I have a number now, and so now I'm happy. But Columbus also did that with an eclipse. He needed food to make the voyage home, and the Indian chief was like, "No, we got enough for us. That's it. We can't give you anything." He says, look, you're making my gods angry, and if you don't do that, the sun's going to be blotted out, whatever, in the middle of the day, and all this is going to happen, and an eclipse happened. And that chief was like, shit, here's your fucking food, go. Get the fuck out. And his people ended up starving the entire winter.
Yeah, well, Columbus was like a giant fucking piece of shit, so.
Yeah, the more you learn about that, man, the more you realize that.
He was fucking awful.
And the thing that always bugged me with the Columbus is we knew the world was round then.
Oh, yeah.
Galileo proved the world was round.
No, they proved the world was round in
Or Magellan, yeah, excuse me.
We still
I
haven't proved the world
apologize,
is
yes.
round yet.
No, it was they proved that in ancient Greece. Actually,
Yeah.
someone calculated the entire like circumference of the Earth. Some Greek mathematician, and actually got it right, and he was off by like 6 meters.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, right. So in ancient Greece, the dude was like, "This is how big the world is," and he was off by fucking 6 meters. Like, I can't even tell you how big my house is, accurate to 6 fucking meters.
Yeah.
Like,
It's big.
I mean, we knew. So that whole, like, when you go up through grade school and everything, that whole thing was a joke. Like, it was just, it's amazing. Like, until you get into, like, college history, you realize that everything you learn in grade school history is just shit.
well, the problem I have with like elementary school teachers, and I'm about to piss a fucking ton of people off here, is there's no standards to be held to. Right? Like, they can just tell you anything. Like, I mean, not to dime somebody out, but Jam thought the buffalo was extinct because her teacher told her that. I'm like, no. Like,
Yeah, because when we had trains and we went across the country in the trains, and they shot all the buffalo off the train, they killed them all. It's extinct, I'm sorry.
I don't think they shot any buffalo on a train.
that would be really hard to do.
I mean, they did kill a shit ton of fucking animals,
They did.
but they did not
yeah.
make the buffalo extinct.
No, they're not extinct. Like,
No, I know that now.
I cooked one the other day. Like,
Did you?
yeah, I had buffalo meat for something on it.
You
I
did?
think I grabbed it on accident.
It's actually
It's
usually
actually
pretty
a
good.
pretty common thing now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
actually
yeah.
Doesn't
pretty
taste
good.
any.
Like Ted Turner actually owns a bison farm, and he
Yeah,
used to own a couple of restaurants that like serve bison meat. And shit.
Yeah, I had a
I
teacher.
couldn't tell the difference, so.
I had a teacher tell me when I was going to school that the fucking sky was blue because the light reflects off the water.
No.
Yeah, I'm like, no. Right now,
Sky is blue because God made it blue.
Okay, Alabama.
Sorry, guys.
Super
I
excited.
read something today, and it made me laugh
For
hysterically.
those that
Was it
can't see
Alabama
us.
Is it about
is
God?
now allowing yoga to be taught in schools, but what did they say? Is it Namaste? I can never say. Namaste. That is not allowed.
What?
I don't know why. I didn't read the article. I read the headline.
What if we
I was a
say
typical asshole that way. I read the headline, didn't read the
if
article.
we say
It still makes
Jesus
sense.
life?
Everyone.
Jesus Day.
Jesus Day.
But the fact that they had to change the law
Yeah, no.
to allow yoga in a fucking
was-
school is
It
awesome.
was banned. Not only it has been banned for 3 decades, 30 fucking years.
funny.
Alabama has banned yoga, and like,
It's funny, like some of the old laws and stuff that like you go through that never get removed from the books.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
we
like,
should do
it's
a thing.
illegal
We
to,
should
like-
look up some stuff and we'll do a thing on that. We should do that.
yeah, it's like illegal to tie a giraffe up in like
Yeah,
some
weird
place.
things.
It's just
'cause,
like
Can't walk down the road on a Sunday with an ice cream cone in your back pocket.
Yeah.
it's like somehow someone did that one thing one time, and they're like, you know what, illegal.
Yeah, I mean, how petty was someone that they're like, no, fuck you, you can't.
It was
do
either
that.
whatever Dirty Dancing or Footloose. I don't know the different. Like I can.
It was Footloose, babe.
Okay.
Footloose.
That
Oh
one's
yeah,
footloose.
Matt doesn't know the difference between fucking
Dirty
Patrick
Dancing.
Swayze.
Footloose.
Patrick Swayze and Kevin Bacon.
Nope.
It's painfully obvious, but that's okay.
Honestly, they're the same fucking movie to me. Like, one of them has baby, and I think that's the one where the guy is, like, way too fucking old to be, like, macking on this chick or something like that. Like, she's in high school and he's, like, 30 fucking something.
Okay, he was 27.
Okay, whatever. She was
But
still
yes,
in high
you're,
school.
You're
And then
entirely correct.
the other one he picked a chick up. Is that the same fucking movie?
You made the declaration
in the
very
lake where
like
they pick her
very
up.
succinctly. Like you're like, it's the same movie, but I don't know what the movies are.
I honestly could not tell you which one that is.
The baby in the corner and the one you just described, plus the picking up, is all Dirty Dancing.
Oh, okay.
Same
So
movie.
apparently
You don't know what Footloose
I don't know what
is.
Footloose is.
I just want to let
That's
you
the one
know.
where he dances
I just want to
in
let you
the
know that you're
warehouse.
gonna, not knowing Kevin Bacon is going to piss off a lot of people.
I mean, like,
Kevin
I
Bacon
could,
is loved by very
I
many
could
people.
probably, like,
Why?
It's because of bacon.
It's because he's
Everyone
been
loves
in
bacon.
he's like connected to everybody. That's
yeah,
why
I
there's
mean,
that
6
game.
Degrees of Kevin Bacon. There's a reason that thing existed.
I mean, he's a good. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. He's a good actor. There's like 2 movies that I've seen where I'm like, Kevin Bacon was good in that. One is Wild Things. He was very good in that. Excellent story. Very 90s movie.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah. No, everyone liked the story of
that was an
Wild Things.
excellent
Yeah,
storyline.
especially the champagne scene.
That scene is amazing.
It's just
Wild
nothing
Thing-
but fucking.
Wild
That
Things-
whole movie
to
was just tits.
16-year-old Nick. That was like a great scene.
Wild Things 3 is even better.
Never seen
What is that?
one.
Just a porno?
They're pretty much.
Yeah, probably.
The
There-
first two were
there's
pretty
like
damn close.
there's like a 10-minute like shower orgy scene.
Like, I honestly can't tell you the story of Wild Things besides boobs and like there was a tattoo shop.
Actually, for
I
a
didn't
crime
realize
movie,
there
it's
was a
actually a
story.
pretty good story. The original one actually had a story. But
Wasn't like Demi Moore in it or something?
Denise Richards.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Denise Richards.
Yeah, I'm just not going to talk about celebrities anymore.
Yeah,
If
yeah, you don't
you guys
know
haven't
your
realized, I
movies.
care
Don't know
so
much about
little
them.
about celebrities that I have no clue who they are.
You
I thought
forgot-
You should probably learn up if you're going to host a podcast.
no, fuck that. I thought that Ben McKenzie and Joseph Gordon-Levitt were the same fucking person for the longest time.
Who? I
Ben
don't-
McKenzie is the guy from Gotham.
Yes.
Gordon.
He's Gordon.
Commissioner
Okay,
Gordon and Gotham.
yeah.
The two people that
I
don't
know.
look
I know
remotely
characters.
like
I don't
And
know actors.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the guy who looks exactly like him.
the guy that's from like 500 Days of Summer or whatever. Like,
And actually, like, a very good actor.
What?
Oh yeah, no, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Both of them are
both
good
of them
actors,
are really good actors.
actually.
But
I'm
like
not
honestly,
shitting on anybody.
I thought Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in Gotham
Oh, no shit.
when it was Ben McKenzie. Like I had no
That's
fucking
funny.
clue until I was like looking.
No,
I was like I
Levitt's
looked it
very
up,
good.
but I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt was actually
I know who that is.
yeah. I think he was actually in Gotham for like an episode or two.
He was in The Dark Knight, the third Dark Knight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he was the Robin.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
You forgot another great Kevin Bacon movie, Tremors.
Oh, that's
Was he
true.
actually in
I
Tremors?
apologize.
That's
yeah.
what it says on his film thing.
Yeah,
I
he's
googled.
you totally forgot about this thing I forgot about too.
Yeah,
Until the internet
obviously.
told me.
Yeah.
That's why we have it.
Anyway,
Look things
Go
up.
look up Kevin Bacon.
I've been watching a lot.
moon names are stupid.
They are stupid. I agree. Sorry, didn't mean to cause a tangent there.
No, always tangent.
Well, I watched something this week. It
Did you?
reminded me how
did
good
too.
of a movie it is. I didn't see it. I saw it when it first came out, and I haven't watched it since. Actually, there's 2 movies I watched this week. One of them is No Country for Old Men.
That is a pretty good movie.
That's a good movie.
Holy fuck. Watching that the second time, that is an amazing movie. Like, that is easily, like, the quintessential modern classic movie. Like, that is a excellent
I don't
movie.
know.
It's,
I mean,
it's good.
It was like moderately entertaining.
Watch it again.
I've watched it a few times.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've watched it twice. I was like, holy shit, this is good. And the other one is The Reverend, which is just, like, possibly my favorite movie that I don't
So
like
the-
to watch.
The Reverend?
Reverend. Revenant.
Something you
Excuse
said
me.
reverent. I was like, what? I don't know that.
That movie,
Reverend.
that movie just leaves me sitting there cold and like, holy fuck, that's how you shoot a movie. But goddamn, that's
Wasn't that the one
That's
with
heavy.
bear or something like that?
yeah. It
that
starts
was the one
off with
Leonardo DiCaprio
yeah.
won his fucking award finally, and then he quit acting.
Leonardo DiCaprio
I mean, he finally did
gets his character in it. Oh god, was
That's why they didn't give him an award because they knew he was going to quit.
We can't have Leo quit. Who's going to take his
too
place?
good.
Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, he's fantastic in that movie. But that is a great movie. I highly recommend that movie to anybody who likes movies. Just likes to watch a great movie. Well shot. Well.
Or if you hate Leonardo DiCaprio because it's
Yeah, he
a
gets
movie about him being
fucked up by a
tortured.
bear. But the acting when that scene, like you hear all the birds chirping and shit, and then all of a sudden you just hear the thump 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 of the bear coming at him, and you see his eyes, everything goes silent, and he just gets launched into a fucking tree. You're just like, holy shit, that honestly was like the best acting I've ever seen of a guy going, holy fuck, a bear's about to knock me the fuck out.
Yeah,
And then the bear just.
I was
like,
actually
ripped his-
confused for like a good 20 seconds after the bear scene because I was like, is there a rest of the movie after this? Because
Yeah.
the main character just died.
Oh yeah,
He's dead.
Well, that's how
it
I
is a
was.
straight up revenge movie, but it's awesome.
That's how I was with. Did you ever see Bad Times at the El Royale?
Oh, excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Really
Oh
good
yeah,
movie.
like
I love that movie.
oh my god,
I
like
thought it was going to be a completely different
Yeah,
movie, and it goes sideways.
like the first
fast.
half hour. Like I watched it on a plane. I was flying from Phoenix, or I was flying.
I don't remember.
I actually
Hawaii
watched
to
it on a plane
Phoenix.
too.
Yeah, like
On the same San Francisco to Hawaii flight.
If you see
Yeah,
it on your
and,
airline flights, guys, you should put it in.
and
It's good.
yeah, like I was watching it. So like yeah, because on the way out to Hawaii, I watched Shazam, which is an amazing movie.
Really good movie.
And then followed up by Aquaman, which
Not a
fucking
good
blew
movie.
balls. And it was awful, horrendous fucking movie, right? And I don't know if it was
And we just
horrendous
lost
because
all of our viewers.
no, I'm
Just the women ones.
yeah,
Because of
right.
Jason
So
Momoa.
I guess we didn't lose any viewers.
Jason Momoa? That was right, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I
you're
got it right.
Yeah, so like I don't know if I hated it so much because I followed it up, but I'm pretty sure it was just a fucking terrible movie.
No, you're pretty much in the minority because most people love
It
that
wasn't
movie.
terrible,
Aquaman?
but it was fine.
Pretty sure it
Like,
has pretty good ratings.
I'm pretty sure it
Well,
has
so does-
horrendous ratings.
Well, so does that other movie with the other superhero.
But the only
You can't talk about that.
Yeah, because, you know.
excuse me.
You'll
Can't
be,
talk-
you'll
can't
be,
talk about that
You'll be
movie.
wrong then.
Only movie that
society
I-
will shun you.
No, okay, so Rotten Tomatoes ranks
65%.
65%, right? So
That's
that's
pretty good for a superhero movie, like other than the Avengers.
Or Logan. I mean, let's just be
It's,
honest.
it's really good for a DC movie. And
but anyway, well, Shazam was a DC movie, and Shazam was amazing.
really good.
Shazam was just hilarious.
And,
the
uh,
Dark Knight
movie.
trilogy. Come on.
And so, like on the way back, I think I watched because
That
that was like
Sounds
all the good
About-
movies on Hawaiian Airlines, right? Like it was Shazam and Aquaman, and I was like, fuck. Like now, what am I gonna watch? So I watched.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah. Oh, pretty much the entire plane was watching Crazy Rich Asians. Like,
It actually wasn't a bad movie.
It's actually
I
a good
haven't
movie.
actually seen it.
it's
Maybe
like
next plane trip.
way too rom-commy for me. So
Did you watch it?
no,
No,
it just looks way too rom-commy for me. That's what I just said.
I would watch it.
Well, you can't.
On my
You
next
can't
airline
judge if it's
flight.
too rom-com if you don't watch it.
No, I can absolutely judge it. I just won't be correct on my
From
judgments.
from the, from
I
the
could
cover.
judge whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm just not always right with it.
Wrong.
But no, so on the way back, I watched Bad Times at the El Royale, and microphone's making noise. And then we have shitty microphones because we don't have that much money to buy microphones.
Patreon, everybody. It helps.
Support.
Support us on
You
Patreon.
can hear us better.
And we'll do other stuff here.
Other
Probably
stuff,
soon.
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
we'll do all the
once,
things.
once our life stables out a little bit because everyone's in flux. So then I watched Bad Times at the El Royale, which is a fucking awesome movie, right? And like I stopped in the middle to get up and go to the bathroom, and Jam was like, "How is that movie?" And I was like, "I don't know." She's like, "Is it good?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like that's all I can tell you. It's just I have no fucking clue. And at the end of the movie, I was like, "This movie's fucking awesome." And then Jam started watching it like right then, and I watched. After that, I watched Tag,
Oh, that movie?
which is this
I never
like,
watched
oh
it,
my
but-
god.
It ends very, very sadly.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Guy dies of cancer. I don't give a fuck. That movie was awful. Like, stop making stupid fucking movies like that. It's like
You're running out of things.
The Hangover 47.
It
Like,
was
holy
based-
shit,
it
the first
based
one
off
was
a real
funny.
story.
I don't care.
Most movies are based off of true events, obviously. All the horror
Yeah, like
ones,
the Texas
definitely true
Chainsaw
events.
Massacre
Like
was
Annabelle, like all the,
Yeah, Carrie. Like, come on, that was based off of
Or
true
the
events.
one with the Australian guy who killed people. I don't remember the name of it. Based on a true story.
Either way,
Sounds
like,
like it
I'm
is.
sorry, the movie Tag was terrible.
you're terrible.
I mean, I am.
I mean, it wasn't that great of a movie. It was just,
I don't know.
it was
I had, like,
entertaining.
a-
I actually watched it on a flight too.
I think that's the other problem. We're just running out of ideas.
Yeah.
And every now and then you'll get a really good one because someone will come up with something original.
Yeah, or
Once
J.J.
again, like
Abrams will
music,
just come
they
around
come-
and like reboot a franchise and make it amazing again.
You got the Coen brothers. I mean, those guys make good. There is good original movies out there. You just got, unfortunately, you got to cut out. I love superhero movies, but you got to cut them out every now and again. You got to look.
Oh, I haven't watched a Marvel movie since Avengers 2.
The last Marvel movie I watched is technically a Marvel movie because Wolverine is a Marvel character, is Logan. And Logan is one of my favorite movies. Not really just a superhero movie. To me,
That was a good
is
movie, yeah.
Movie
an
was sad as
excellent
fuck.
movie.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it'll rip your heart out.
I
yeah.
also watched it on a plane.
Yeah.
I
haven't
didn't.
seen
I
it
watched
yet.
that in. Actually, I watched that in upstate New York. After my friend ran a fucking Spartan race in the middle of winter.
Okay, now what?
A Spartan race? It's like
Yeah, like the obstacle
Like the
course
Spartans.
things.
yeah.
Like
was- it was like-
Spartans, right?
yeah.
Like the horse and the chariot.
No.
No, it's a giant like worldwide obstacle course race. It's like super popular. Been
Yeah.
around for like 10 years now.
Yeah, you're just fat and you don't know about it.
I mean, I'm not
Do you get
that
to kick
fat,
people
but
in
yeah.
the pits?
I mean, I'm fat, but most of my friends are like fit for some reason. I don't know why.
None of us at this table, so.
Excuse you, sir.
I have more than friends.
Yeah.
More friends than just at this table. And there's only two
You
of
don't
us
have
that
a
are at
stomach.
this, only two of us. Only two of us at
Still
this
have
table are
15%
not
of one.
fit.
We just gotta play more Beat Saber. And we'll be okay.
VR.
You buy us some VR headsets to play it all the time.
I
Yeah,
gotta
no.
download the songs on mine. So
I'm not
I
buying
play
you
it all the
VR
time.
headsets. Like, I barely bought my wife a VR headset, and she's been asking me for years.
I mean, she played on my PlayStation one for a while. I like VR for different gaming experiences. I mean, I'm still a traditional. I want a controller in my hand, play a video game. But
You
I
can still
like
do
my
that in
VR
VR.
for different things.
Kind
You
of.
know,
You can play Myst in VR.
I love my
Probably
flight
like it.
simulator.
It's just like
No one cares about
just like
Myst.
the original game.
A lot of people care about Myst. There's actually like a huge fan
There's 4
base of
endings,
Myst.
so go get them.
My
I
favorite
did not
thing.
know, by the way.
My favorite thing looking at the VR library on Steam is just, it's like nothing but fucking porn. And I'm like, yep,
That's true. There's a lot of porn for VR.
that's what everyone wanted.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I don't have issues with it.
Could care less.
To each their own.
I don't understand the hentai thing though. Like if someone could chime in and explain that to me.
I don't know, dude. It's porn. Like, tits are tits. I don't fucking care.
Tits are not tits.
Tits.
Like
tits.
tits in real life are tits. Like I don't understand the anime stuff.
I don't know. Some people like it. Different strokes for different folks.
You know,
Some of it's.
I like it.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like the tentacle shit is kind of weird to me. Like I don't get it.
Uh,
Some of it's just
Well,
funny.
so
I think
there-
a lot of hentai is just funny to me.
there's
It's-
a lot of story about like tentacle porn in Japan and stuff like that, and a lot of it is actually, so the Japanese used to not care, right? And there's a big thing about like why they censor all their porn and stuff like that. Like showing a penis entering a vagina in Japan is like fucking unholy ground. You can't do it. And that's actually because Christian missionaries, as always, fucked everything up.
Not going to disagree.
And yeah, so the Japanese, like when the Christian missionaries went over, they used to see the Japanese women walk around with no tops on and, work in the fields and stuff like that. And like they do all kinds of indigenous places. I mean, you can go to like sub-Saharan Africa and see.
In Paris,
What?
People,
toplessness in a lot of places in Europe is totally okay.
I mean,
Nobody cares.
I mean, they do like at beaches
Well, they
and
do
stuff.
it
They
in
don't
New
just
York,
walk around the city in topless.
I don't think they have the they're not
Yeah.
prudish like we are here. They don't
No,
care.
in New York.
In New York, you can be
they
topless.
fought for the right that women don't have to wear tops.
I know.
whole
It was the
free
First
the-
Amendment thing. Too.
Free the nipple thing?
And
yeah.
you can do it. You can
Yeah,
now walk
yeah.
around New York if you
I
want.
fully support the freedom nipple for everybody.
I'm not gonna lie. I
Perverts. But,
did you see him just take the high ground on us?
yeah, I did.
He totally took the high ground on us.
And we know he's the least one.
And he's worse than both of us.
Yes.
I mean, his wife is across the table, and she's like, he's worse than
I mean,
both
he's
of
the
you.
one watching
I'm probably
hentai
the
porn
worst
on his
one,
fucking VR
honestly.
every night.
I've never, okay,
Maybe.
so I won't say I've never watched VR porn before because that's a fucking
That would be a
bold-faced
lie.
lie. Yeah. Oh my God, these microphones are terrible. So a friend of, it wasn't a friend of mine, he was a coworker. I fucking absolutely hate the guy and I hope he fucking dies in a fire. But,
Okay.
he got a VR headset and he has really bad motion sickness, so I don't know why he bought a VR headset.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea for
yeah.
motion sickness.
So he got this VR headset and he's like, I played it like once and threw up. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, you didn't throw up in it, right? And he was like, no. And I was like, cool, yeah, I'll take it.
That would be impressive if you throw up
Well, I mean, you could take
in
it
your
off and then
eye,
like,
in your eye set,
I mean, you could take it off and then puke in
No.
it. I
Just
mean,
puke upwards.
yeah, like,
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense.
None.
makes sense if you
Wrong.
don't think about it.
Just like rolling out the window backwards.
It's a thing. So we'll get
What's
into
that?
that later.
No, we gotta do it soon, but you can make your point first.
So anyway, he gave me like this little VR thing, and it was like one of the shitty ones that you just like. It's got like suction cups, and you stick your phone into it, and then put it on there, right? And I had I had a Samsung phone at the time, and so it had the VR shit in it. And the first thing I did, man, I just went to fucking Pornhub and like VR porn. I was just like immediately. I didn't even bother.
He was
looking
actually
at
still in his
another-
friend's house. And,
He gave it to me at work.
he was still at work then. I mean, I don't know.
I hope you at least went to the bathroom.
What?
No, he was on night shift. It's fine.
No one's around.
I was not on night shift at that point, but yeah, I have worked. I'm usually perpetually on night shift for some reason. I'd be like, oh yeah, you're a tier 3 engineer, night shift. Fuck. I get it. I'm an asshole and people don't like me.
I mean, you don't sleep anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's true.
I
mean,
still think the
that's
world,
a medical problem.
I
Though.
still think the world should be in 24 hours for the daytime people and the nighttime people.
No.
People come out during the day,
Wrong.
and the nighttime people come out at night, and everything's open all the time.
I would be the happiest man alive because I would just be up till 3, 4 in the morning and sleep till
Yeah,
like
because I'm
1
a
or 2.
nighttime person.
Yeah, right. I don't.
I mean, if you're really going to get into it, like we don't
Places.
sleep right anyways. Like,
Places
we're not,
would be less crowded because then you only have half the people going
Yeah, well,
during a certain
like
time of day.
one thing that always annoyed me. I am not a morning person at all. Even when I was on a fucking submarine, right? I have no idea what time it is. But when you put me on the morning watch and you wake me up at 6 in the morning, it is way worse than you waking me up at 2 in the morning for the mid watch or some shit like that. Like,
well, usually because our breakfast sucked. Like, and as soon as they ran out of fresh eggs, it was just awful.
yeah.
So, I mean,
Well, when I had my own business, it started at 1. I worked until 7. My business was open 1 to 7, Monday through Friday, and a little bit later on the weekend. But I was up until about 3 or 4, and I slept till about noon. That was like the greatest schedule of my life. It's the last time I was happy. No, just kidding.
yeah, so we're actually like, if we were actually sleeping how we were supposed to, like we would be sleeping like 3 hours and then we'd be up for a few hours and then
Yeah, it was
it's
a weird thing where you would sleep for 4 hours, be up for like an hour or two, like doing stuff in the middle of
those
the night,
like weird alternative sleep schedules.
and then you go back to sleep. Yeah,
Yeah,
so you
those
get
are-
up to have sex or to write in your science book or whatever.
Of jams, right?
it's either sex or science book.
And then you go back to sleep.
Your
That's how they
point
used
is
to do
valid.
it
I mean, like,
back in the day. Someday, one of the days.
if you're waking me up in the middle of the night, sex is probably the best option for it.
It's probably true.
I
Hey,
am now a morning person.
you want a bone? Yeah, I do. I'm really tired, but I think I can squeak this one out.
Yeah.
I just have to lay here, right? All right.
Someone else can do the work.
Anyway, back to the rolling out of the bed backwards, obviously.
No, back
That's
to
the
the
next
sex.
topic. The sex.
Check out mine and James OnlyFans.
So I come in one day and Matt's like, we got to move the bed. It was set under the window.
I don't like
right?
it.
And he's like, we have to move the bed. It's not good there. And I'm like, why? And he's like, well, because you can roll out of the window. And I'm like, who's rolling out of the window backwards while you're sleeping? Because you'd have to somersault backwards.
It can
the
happen.
headboard was underneath the
Well,
window.
first off, there was no headboard because I was not moving all that
It
shit
doesn't
upstairs.
matter. The point is, your head was where the window was. So the
I want
only
to-
way to roll out of it was doing a somersault.
I want to point out that one of my favorite comedians, Mike Birbiglia, he has pretty much an entire special talking about his sleep issue, and where he literally got up out of bed and jumped out of a second-story window.
Yeah, but that's you had to get up for that. You're
No,
not
no,
sitting
he
there
was
sleeping.
asleep.
Yeah, I know, but that's still sleepwalking, jumping out of a window
I was
versus
saying you can't sleepwalk and flip out of the window
back.
backwards. I don't know. You're sleeping. You're not like comprehending stuff.
You know what?
Hey, Brandon,
You would have-
But he fell out of a window because he was sacrificing himself for his platoon or some shit like that.
You know what? At least one of you's on my fucking side here.
the window was like 4 feet wide, and it was really high up. Like, he would have had to have worked.
He would have had to stand on the bed and do a somersault backwards out
No.
of bed. You can't go from laying down to somersaulting backwards.
You can't.
You don't know what he's gonna do when he's high
He's
as
not.
fuck.
He's not that flexible. He rolled over in bed and broke his wrist. All right.
did.
He's not that flexible.
I did do that. that happened.
He
I'm
legitimately
old and
rolled
I've never
over.
done
I'm trying to
and
defend
broke
you,
his
but
wrist.
she's making some really good points.
You're not wrong.
I know.
I laughed so hard when I got that text. I rolled over and I started to crunch. What do you mean a crunch on my wrist? I think it's like broken or something. I was like, God, fuck, how? You were sleeping.
I
He
am
broke
old,
your wrist.
and I have never done that.
That happened the day after I couldn't move because I did yoga.
It's true. It's true.
You're
Yoga
the
has
oldest
some
30-year-old
parts.
man I know.
31.
Whatever.
You may be skinny now, but you're still falling apart.
Right? I lose 150 fucking pounds and then just fall apart. God damn it, I was more sturdy when I was fat.
Hey, your fat was protecting you from all your stupidity.
Yeah, my stupidity of fucking getting tired of laying on my right side and going to my left side and fucking snapping my wrist. Legitimately, I was in a wrist brace for like 3 fucking weeks.
He couldn't cook or anything. We had
Yeah.
to cancel our little order boxes of food because
Yeah.
he couldn't cook. Because I can't cook. So
Yeah. I mean, it's like me cooking, right? It's, like, I
Doesn't-
buy the
doesn't happen.
simplest meals that come in the mail, right? They already come in a little tin to put them in the oven, and it said just throw the shit in the tin and cook it.
It
And I'm
literally
like,
says
you know
throw
what?
the shit in the tin.
I'm like, yes,
They know who their audience is. Just throw this shit in here, man.
Have
Just
you
fucking
ever-
cook
it's
it.
for me.
Have you ever, it was big. Oh shit, I was living in Connecticut and it was big. It's called the Thug Kitchen Cookbook.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that was a fun cookbook.
It's like, bake the shit out of that motherfucker. Like, that's what the cookbook was. It was like a complete vegan cookbook too. There's actually a bunch of good recipes in there.
You fucking put that goddamn eggplant in the pan and fry the shit out of it.
That's like how the cookbook was written. It was fucking hilarious. It was
Yeah.
like in the beginning and like the intro, it was like, stop bitching, eat your fucking vegetables.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, I would starve to death for sure, 100%. When he
No,
went
you
on
just-
deployments, I was fucked. All I ate was soup.
Chunky
and,
monkey ice cream and rice.
And tampons.
Exactly.
And frozen dinners. Because
No, it was ordering a large pizza, and I eat it for like 3 days. So
For one day.
yeah, it was 3.
3 pizzas one day.
Maybe could have been. I don't know. He was on deployment.
You have
That's
a
all I could
problem.
do.
have you ever noticed? Brandon might have noticed because he's a single guy. Single guy stuff. There's just nothing out there for us.
I don't know. There's like a store like right next to my apartment that's called Single Fixins.
Here's the problem. Like,
So you're wrong.
like, you want A phone plan. You're single, therefore your phone plan is more expensive than the regular phone plan. Because if you had another person on your phone plan, we'd make it cheaper.
Well,
Yeah, well,
that's
if
because
you-
it's cheaper for them.
Yeah.
Well, if you just okay, so my whole thing about, I mean,
It's like cruise line tickets
The world
too.
is not-
You go to buy
Yeah.
a cabin for, on
Mine
the
was
cruise if
double
you're
theirs.
single
Yeah.
versus if you brought someone with you in the cabin. You're still sharing the same fucking room.
Well, they-
it's because there's an extra person on there to spend money on alcohol and.
well, no, it's actually because they charge per room. So whether you have two people,
Not
like
bad.
we're still paying the same fucking amount. Like if me and you go, we're still paying the same amount if he goes, because we're paying by room.
No, wrong.
I'm
I was
not.
actually like $100 or
You're
$200
right, I know.
more than you. No, you got the really expensive one, but my room was almost as expensive as yours.
I just
because
want to
was by
let
myself.
viewers know that I've never been on a cruise, so I don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
You have been on a
We
cruise. It was
gotta
just on
go.
a gray ship instead of
The
a
War
real
Pickle.
nice ship.
Not on a nice cruise.
I had to share 2 beds with 3 other guys. So
Yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't get my own room. I didn't even get my own fucking bed half the time.
Man, I can't wait for those to start back up.
Cruises?
Yeah, this is my
should be-
favorite
they
vacation.
already started back up. They
No,
just
but
can't-
like,
They just can't go to Florida
they can't go to Florida because
because
Florida
their
is
fucking
fucking
governor's
stupid.
a goddamn
dick.
idiot.
We're not gonna have the vaccine fucking passports because those are
COVID isn't real, damn it.
No, okay,
No,
so
I'm totally
here's the thing.
vaccinated for it.
Here's the thing about vaccine passports, and right, this is going to come from someone who is a fucking technologist, right? And like having a little fucking card that says I've been vaccinated, right? I can go print one of those out. Shit, someone got arrested in New York for printing one out and selling them, right? He was selling fake ones, and so like why don't you just embrace the digitally verified thing, right? Like we can just have a fucking QR code that just has Jesus, fuck this thing, fuck it.
Matt's mic's freaking out right now. The pop filter keeps
Yeah, whatever.
Moving.
You're just gonna hear nice sharp S's and P's for a little bit. So like this digital. Don't fucking touch it. Don't you touch my shit.
I want to touch your shit.
Nick, stop touching it. God,
you do get infected. You shouldn't do that.
that's your brother, Nick. Come on.
Wait, what? No,
So-
talk about the pop filter, damn it.
So looking at this little stupid card thing, right? And
I can't listen to what you're saying because I'm too focused on the pop filter.
The whole podcast is ruined. We're
Ruined.
gonna have to take 3 now.
Start the whole thing over
I
again.
can't take. Like, we're not starting this whole thing over. It's been like far too long into it.
No, we just have to remember everything we said
Yeah, we have
Cue
to
the-
between now
somehow
and
repeat
then.
Cue the diarrhea jokes again. Let's go.
it. Can't do more diarrhea
You know,
jokes.
this is 2 weeks in a row we had diarrhea
I could do a whole
stories.
podcast of diarrhea jokes.
Like, Brandon's was
It's
last
what the
week.
people
Milo
want.
was this week. Who's next?
I mean,
We
once
got
my
one out.
doctor changes my medication up, I'll probably be next.
Yeah, I'm getting new medication next week too, so I'm probably gonna have diarrhea again.
Almost fucked all that up. All right, no, we're not doing this.
Okay, don't spill the beer because I will be offended.
So those of you that can't see, I'm fucking everything up right now. So anyway, going back
Matt
to...
is extremely drunk right now.
I am not.
He's been drinking literally all day.
I have. I'm unemployed. I can do that.
Yeah, when you have
so
people come
jealous.
over, like Brandon, in the middle of the day,
Hey,
and
hey,
I'm the one
I was
actually working.
I was working very
I
diligently.
said you're my sugar mama. Brandon had to come over because of stupid government bullshit that we'll get to when I'm done talking about other stupid government
and
bullshit.
I came to get food for lunch, and he's like, "You're not done working yet?" And I'm like, "I actually work for a living, so."
Yeah, you too. Some people actually have to get up
Programmers
dark 30.
actually have to type things. We can't just sit and look at a monitor all day. It doesn't work.
I
Typing
sometimes will do
things,
that.
cut and paste things, whatever.
Yeah, same difference.
Yeah, right?
Googling.
Yeah, programmers. Yeah, they just Stack Overflow constantly.
I just like
Most of the time.
I like this video. Like people are like, "Oh, what do you think programmers are doing?" And it's like people typing like crazy, and it's like what they're actually doing: cut,
Copy,
paste.
paste. Well, if someone already wrote the code, why would you rewrite it? It
Yeah,
doesn't
don't
make
read
So
any
that you
sense.
can learn how to do it.
That's stupid.
You just read the thing and you know how to do it.
Hey, Matthew, I would like to say righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Yeah, fuck you. It's
Okay.
backwards.
Nick is our
Reverse
mechanic.
threads. Kiss my ass.
Nick is
Shit.
our mechanical expert.
I also used to be a mechanic.
So back to passports. Of
Back
some
to
kind.
COVID passports.
That's it.
I thought we were talking about moons.
That was
I mean,
a while ago. You
yeah.
missed all that.
Yeah, you missed the very clean segue into it, right?
So I went from moons to porn to fucking COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Moon, vagina.
yeah, we did talk about vaginas for a bit.
I
mean, that was
meeting
kinda wrapped
people,
up in the porn.
vagina, same difference, right?
So people are like, "Oh my god." I have a fucking hilarious story about some guy from work about that too.
I don't have a job.
It was when
It
I
was
used to work.
it was an earlier job.
It was an earlier job back when I was still not a bum.
Are you not working or
Well, he still works.
you still
I'm
working
still,
No, he
I'm
still
still
works.
working.
at the place?
He
Yeah.
came over here and worked.
Yeah, he came over here and watched me play Final Fantasy 14 all day.
While I was working very diligently.
Well,
Fucking
because
bum,
you're
man.
in a different field where you can just monitor things,
But-
and if stuff goes wrong, you fix it.
Hey, I
So
do
you have
hard
that
work
kind of-
every day, okay?
So anyway, COVID
I save
passport.
the world.
Still trying to get back over to there. Yeah, so from someone who is very steeped in technology, especially in security, like
He's an
having,
art student.
now I am. I still have a bachelor's degree in
Well,
information security.
technically,
You don't
he hasn't
count
started-
anymore.
He hasn't started classes in it
Yeah,
yet.
now
so
I'm just a jobless piece of shit.
right now. He hasn't actually.
So
So we should just not listen to you at all.
yeah, sure.
Podcast over.
Well, so these, right? So like the COVID passports, basically they're verified. You know, the state verifies that yes, you did get the vaccine, and it issues a little QR code. You scan the QR code, and it says, "Hey, you got it." Right? We do it all the time. Like your fucking driver's license has a barcode on the back of it, and it has a little scanny thing on the back of it too, right?
It's supposed to have a barcode on the back of it.
Yeah. If you don't,
No, it
you
does.
don't have a real driver's license, and you should
That's why
probably
they
get your
swipe
money
it
back.
sometimes,
Yeah, right.
and it will
God damn it, Pedro.
reveal all your information when they swipe it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah. Anything with a magnetic strip, like people make a big deal that, or at least they used to. I think people are used to it now. But when the chip cards came out, it was a huge. Everyone's like, it takes so long. Get the fuck over it.
Well, the strip reveals everything.
Yeah, right. It's unencrypted, right? It just goes over the line.
Well, I mean,
That's not
They
good,
they
guys.
figured out a way to like before they even like actually issued the chip cards, people already figured out a way to fucking hack the chip cards. They did before it even came out.
Yeah, they're like AES 256 encryption. You can't hack that.
They found a way to fucking.
I mean, you can hack anything if you take the time to
I mean,
do
No,
it.
It's not-
legitimately,
it's not
AES
like-
256,
And you
if
have
you
time.
got the most powerful computer, except for a quantum computer, because that just fucks everything over. But if you got the most powerful computer and you set it to go, it would take, I think
Yeah.
it was like 200 trillion years. It would take longer to break it than the universe has
they
existed.
didn't break it. They tricked people into fucking.
Giving
Oh,
you
no,
information.
shit.
That's a
Well,
different
that's
story.
different, right? You can trick anybody into doing anything. The problem with every single
That's why
fucking
there's
computer
phishing
problem
emails.
is, that's why phishing emails exist and ransomware and shit like that, because people will download stupid shit and they're like, oh yeah, I want to look at the photo viewer.
You're not supposed to download those?
No,
No.
Nick. Sorry.
No, if you go to a website and it's like, do you want to download this? And you haven't even clicked anything or you're not there to download software, don't fucking download it.
That's why my computer doesn't work. I'm kidding. But
By the way, your car warranty is about to expire, and you should give us
I know
information.
I'm told this every
Every day.
morning at exactly 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
told-
really
I
weird.
keep blocking different numbers, and I get the same message on all kinds of numbers.
I
It's
used to be
weird.
like worried, like, do I owe somebody money that I don't know of? Because I don't anymore. I mean,
The answer is no. If you block them and you get
Yeah.
like 10 different numbers saying the same thing, it's not true, guys.
or
Anyway.
the IRS is going to come arrest me because I owe back taxes for something that.
Oh,
Oh,
I
they
got
don't
one.
do
My
shit.
social
They
security
don't
number
arrest
was
you.
suspended.
Yeah, your social security's number's been locked.
Yeah, like,
Like,
that,
what the
that was one I got. And I was like, I don't think the Social Security Administration can do that. Only one person, by the way, I have looked this up. No, two Social Security numbers are invalid. One is a test number. And then one, the store Woolsworth was selling wallets. And in the wallet, they had a fake Social Security card in there. But that Social Security card had a number that was fucking real.
Oops.
And it belonged to somebody who was still alive.
Also, oops.
Yeah, so they actually, that was the only time they ever had to change someone's Social Security number. Because it was just legitimately fucking...
Or
Yes.
the poor
Everywhere.
people with
So
the
if you get a call saying that your
8675
social
numbers.
security number has been invalidated, that's not a fucking thing.
Yeah, that's only happened one time in the history of this country in the Social Security Administration.
Interesting.
I know this because I used to have to do fucking data loss prevention rules, and I had to look up. By the way, we just I will go on this forever, and it actually kind of correlates with vaccine passports. We should probably just have United States driver's licenses because holy shit, each state having their own makes it a giant pain in the ass for like
Everyone who changes over.
Yeah, especially when you
everything.
move like every year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like when you move states all the time, and then like, so when you're doing data loss prevention rules, all of you that don't care about this, you're about to get a fucking level of nerdom that is beyond anything. You have to write like little lines of code that look for certain things, right? And these certain things, you have to specify like it's a certain length of digits or whatever, numbers, letters. Some of you, like New York, is just 7 digits. Like any fucking 7 digits, right? Like I can't filter on that. Like I'm gonna catch absolutely everything because every word that's over 7 letters is suddenly gonna get caught in that, and I'm gonna block every fucking email that goes out that has a word over 7 letters in it. And it's a huge pain in the ass. So if we just went to a goddamn US driver's license like every other fucking country in the world does, and we have a standard goddamn set of numbers, everything would be so much fucking easier in the world. And we wouldn't have to deal with each individual state's Department of Motor Vehicles, and all this stupid real ID shit wouldn't need to happen because it would all be from the goddamn US government. No, don't get me wrong. I know what you're about to say. They're about to fuck it up, right?
No, actually, I was going to say the very simple thing of because I
California.
changed my driver's license from a Florida license to an Arizona license. Florida therefore suspended my Florida license, and I'm not allowed to drive a company vehicle because technically I have a suspended license because Florida is fucking stupid and has a dumbest fucking law on the
Because
books
you didn't
about that.
because you didn't send your license back.
I
Yes,
never-
because I did not send my license plate back.
Just like
I never
Connecticut.
had that issue.
Yeah, no, Connecticut did that to me, right? They sent me a tax bill for a year in Connecticut that I didn't live there.
Yeah.
And I had to like jump through my ass and go to the freaking DMV
To
here to
prove
get
that we
registrations for that
weren't living
vehicle
there.
that I wasn't even there for that year, right? I legitimately had to send them that I registered that vehicle in it like the year before, and they still were like, "Well, you owe us taxes."
Well,
And I
because
was like,
it's
"Blow me."
because Connecticut they count your vehicles as property tax.
Most states do that, right? It's called an excise tax. In Arizona, we just pay it when
Kinda.
we register the vehicle.
Not
right?
always.
Well, I don't because I'm a 100% disabled veteran, and then I have an electric car, so like I legitimately don't pay any
Yeah.
vehicle registrations.
Hippie.
Yeah, I know.
One day we're gonna get the microbus that's gonna come out in 2022.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm fascinated by the vehicles. As a car guy, I'm like straight up fascinated by those vehicles.
Have you seen the fucking thing where like you sit in the seat and the car turns on? Like it's in the new VW SUV. Like instead of and like it just turns on the car as soon as you sit in the driver's seat.
Can you drive off with it?
Yeah.
So anybody who breaks into the car
you
can
have to
sit
actually
in the
you have to have
car.
the fob
Like
in
you still
the
have to
pocket.
have the key in your like on your possession, but like sitting in the seat turns the car on.
Oh, weird.
So it's like a dude.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah, you just sit and yeah, that's
mean,
true.
Volkswagen
That's
dude.
100% true.
Volkswagen
You sit in
dude.
their lap, turn them on.
but back to
I'm
the
sorry that was sexist. I'm gonna let that go.
back to the U.S.
I mean,
driver's
it's probably
license.
true.
Back to the U.S. driver's license thing, though, like, and how it correlates with vaccine passports is like, if we have a central location, right? Everything is, especially now when we're in like this data-driven society where absolutely everything is about data, day in and day out. If you have some central location for it, you don't have to have it fucking everywhere. Like, all of our data is all over the goddamn place, and every time there's a breach, like, you're just getting screwed constantly. And if you, like, somehow centralize it, and you're like, we'll put it here, and then protect the shit out of it.
Yeah, you have to protect it. That's the thing. Like, we have this data-driven reality, digital everything, but we don't protect any of it.
Well, yeah, it's because the U.S. refuses
Any of
to
it.
implement data privacy laws. Companies in the United States, right? So if you look at the European Union, they have laws called GDPR, and then Canada has PIPEDA, right? Their data privacy laws, and then even
Sounds delicious.
and then yeah, it's
A pepita.
PIPEDA,
No, I like pita.
Pie pita.
and yeah, if you're
Pita pie.
Pita bread.
I had someone say it as PIPEDA one time, and I'm like, no, that's not.
Pie and pita.
But,
Delicious.
He
But-
didn't say it like that. He said some curse words.
But
You didn't say it with sexy sounding food.
Papita.
Papita.
But and then California, one of the only things, one of the only things I'll ever give California, right? I don't give them a lot. Their state is absolutely beautiful, but holy shit, you fucked that place up. Is
Fuck California.
I lived there for like 4 years, and absolutely everything I saw in California is gorgeous. Like
It is. It's
it's
very
one of the most
gorgeous
beautiful
state.
places.
Well, except it burned down most of it. The southern part, anyway.
Yeah.
The northern.
The
The
northern
part,
part's
too.
really pretty.
No, the northern
too.
part burned down too.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, pretty much all of California's been on fire for the past few years.
And I'm not
But
gonna
it's
lie.
beautiful. It's very beautiful state.
Fucking gorgeous. Yeah, oh my god, I would
But
absolutely
man,
love
all
to
the
live in
laws
California.
and the expensive taxes and the crazy people. Good luck.
Just the cost of living in California
That's
is
true,
fucking
cost of living.
insane.
San Diego is like the greatest weather vortex in all.
Oh
of the
yeah,
world.
it's
it
like
is.
70 degrees every day all
It's
year.
Yeah, we
amazing.
mentioned
It's-
it last podcast.
Did we?
We did.
Oh, well, we're
I
probably going to
listened
do
to
that
the
a lot.
podcast today. 'Cause
It's amazing weather.
obviously, I'm a narcissistic and wanted to hear my voice.
I mean, I live in Phoenix where it's 115 on like an average July day.
True.
70 every day sounds amazing.
Well, that's why you get a swimming pool, Nick. I know you live in an apartment, but
Does your apartment have a pool?
It does.
yeah, but public pools are crap.
Public pools are gross because kids pee in them.
No. Public pools are amazing when you walk by with a cute dog like I have, because then all the chicks in the bikinis are like, oh my god, look at that cute little dog.
You have
And he's
chicks
the
in
greatest
bikinis at your
wingman
public
ever.
pool?
Because a cute girl walks up to Milo, he just rolls on his back, he's like, rub my belly. And I'm like, you are amazing.
Yeah, so much better than your last dog, right? That tried to fucking chew her face off.
Well, because it was a girl, and female dogs don't like other women. It is what it is.
I mean, most women don't like other women.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
It might be.
Like-
You might be lying to yourself out there, but you know it's a
I
thing.
think I would take James' word on it that it's a thing. She's the only one that would know.
Yeah, right. I completely defer all women-related issues to Jam all the time.
And I mean,
Which
she
is
is
wrong
the low woman.
because honestly, I'm the least girly girl ever, and
She's the least
I
girly
hang
out of
out
all of
with
us.
nothing but men. So
Yeah, but
I wouldn't trust my word on a lot for
I mean-
those.
So
Just saying.
it's all I got. I don't know any other women. I'm a lonely man.
Not as lonely as Nick.
I'm the
And
worst.
just TV dinners
Or you.
I'm
and
not lonely.
rice.
You don't know my life.
Yeah, you have 2 cats and a dog. I just have a dog.
You're the crazy cat man.
No, no. Well, no names. You
Oh,
have
yeah.
to bleep that name.
Fuck.
Anyway, so
Damn it.
You just did a Nick move by
I
accident.
did. I nicked it.
It's easy to do, isn't it?
It
It's
is.
really hard to like. No, don't say that person's name, Nick. You know you've known
you
them
just
for
say
like a
the
long
one
time.
guy that you know.
That dude over in that place.
Obviously.
As somebody that I used to know.
No,
I mean, I didn't
no,
used to know
Brandon.
him.
I still know him.
I saw him last week. He's doing pretty okay.
Now you're somebody that I used to know.
He's,
I actually-
I like him a lot. He's a great friend.
So and I know I never fucking wrapped up the government sucks at everything, but we should still go to COVID passports.
That's just an ongoing theme.
national IDs. But we should
It'll
do
come
that.
up again.
We should do
Honestly-
that because it's a good idea. But we're talking about fucking crazy cat people and shit like that. Like, man, that guy has so many goddamn cats. So apparently he
I
fosters
mean,
cats.
technically, yeah, that's what I was about to say. He does foster a lot of cats and he finds them new homes. It's not just like he owns all these
Yeah,
cats.
yeah, but I still like to make fun of him about it.
Well, all of us do. It's a great
But-
topic.
But I was
I'm so lonely.
Made it back to the beginning, huh? Just-
yeah, that's why he ordered. rice and
Suddenly there's going to be
TV
3
dinners.
people next week because Nick's just going to say, fuck it.
Next week we'll be replacing Nick with the Bulldog Humphrey.
Humphrey's
Probably Milo because he's going to need a new home because I'm just going to say, that's it, I'm done. Just kidding, folks. Just jokes.
Yeah. That's it. If you're having suicidal thoughts, call the crisis line.
No, I would never.
Yes, please.
No, please call them if you have the problems.
No,
Yes,
please.
yes. Like,
That is important, and
Absolutely.
it does help a lot of people. I mean,
It does.
I've
Sorry
been
to get
there.
suddenly sad.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
No,
a sad
we all
thing.
have.
And I think it's mental health
It's a
awareness month
perfectly
too. Like,
human
Is it?
thing. You're not alone.
I think today is like mental health
Is it?
like there's some like special mental health day or something.
is there? Mental Health Awareness Month is in May.
I
Yeah,
wish
just Mental Health
I
Awareness
wish
Month.
more people would talk about shit like
Yeah,
that.
really,
because it's
really
something
do.
just like your regular health that needs service
So, like,
every now and then.
Like I said, in the first episode, last episode, I said that, I have mental health issues and I'm never afraid to talk about them. Right? I have post-traumatic stress disorder.
You're not alone out there.
I was
A lot
in
of
the military, yeah,
human
and-
people, because humans are all the same, we have these thoughts from time to time.
Yeah,
It
right.
happens.
And I absolutely need help pretty much constantly, right? Like there's a lot that is very, very difficult for me. Talking to people is very difficult for me, and all kinds of stuff, right? And going to see a psychiatrist and legitimately taking medication, right? Like you have an infection or something like that. You take medication for it, right? Like what's
It's
so
the
different
same.
of having a chemical imbalance in your brain and not taking medication for it, right? And being on antidepressants doesn't make you a pussy. Being on
No.
anti-anxiety medication, like I'm on antidepressants and anxiety medication. I'm actually on 2 different kinds of antidepressants because one of them helps me sleep because I can't fucking sleep for shit. And there's no problem with that, right? The second I started antidepressants and anti-anxiety and actually started taking care of my mental health, my life completely changed. Like
Yep.
you would have talked to me last month, I was fucking screaming at everyone. I was the most angry, just frustrated. I don't even know what I was. Like,
You're what I am on a lot of days. I mean, I've suffered from depression for
Overwork,
years.
overstress.
And like when I moved to
Overwhelmed.
Phoenix, you guys remember when I moved here? I was
Yeah.
especially you two. I was a walking disaster. I was the most saddest human being ever. Like we joke about it now because it is kind of a funny joke, but I suffer from pretty bad depression, and there's times where I worry about everything. And my poor dog, and I do feel bad, but I do worry way too much. I do.
Yeah, and anxiety is a huge
It's-
thing,
oh,
and
it's-
people think that is normal. Like it's not.
it's not.
not.
Yeah, like
The amount that I feel, no, never.
Yeah, right. Like having a fucking panic attack a half hour before you have a meeting or something like that. Like that's
I've had panic attacks.
Yeah,
They're not fun.
getting stressed out or
Yeah.
like.
I mean,
legitimately-
I've had severe, especially social anxiety, like for
Yes.
for a long time.
Oh, yeah, my
I
whole
mean,
life,
I've
yeah.
I've literally kept paying for subscriptions and stuff for months because they said I had to call them.
Same
And I
here.
don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to a stranger. I don't want to talk to a person I know on the phone.
Right?
Like,
I hate
and I definitely
calling
don't want to call a stranger. And then in my mind, I'm just like working through like they're gonna be judgmental. They're gonna like what are they
right.
gonna do? Like it's
how many?
just
I can't even count how many times that I've rehearsed entire conversations I'm going to have with
Oh,
somebody.
I've written
and-
stuff down.
Yeah, right,
Every
like,
time I
I-
have to call people, I'll write stuff down. I'll even say like, "Hello, my name is J. Marie. I need this, 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 this."
Yeah, really, and that's not.
and then I'll immediately still fuck it up.
Yes.
Let me tell you a story.
Yes.
This happened very recently, as of last month. I had an issue because I originally was doing a one food thing, right? And I said, I don't really like their food, so I'm going to do this one. But I didn't know how to cancel the first one.
Canceling is hard.
So you know what I did to avoid any conversation, to avoid any possible where I'd end up getting into an argument or whatever? I straight up canceled my debit card.
You got a new one?
So they couldn't charge me anymore. So and then I changed everything over to the new card. I actually made my life more difficult because then I forgot to change my Amazon Music one, which I need to do. I'm a little upset about that because now I can't get my music. But my
Like
Amazon,
the Bicker Bunch podcast.
yes, I'm very upset about that. But I sat there and when I did that, I was like, "Holy fuck, Nick! You have to work on this shit." Like,
Yeah,
It's
you're
very
40 years
difficult.
old. Why is this still a problem? But
It's
my
because-
generation is the last generation. Well, okay, I guess I'm in that weird one. where
You're
I'm like
kind of
the,
in between, right?
I'm like
You're-
the end of the X, the beginning of the millennial.
Yeah, you're in that weird.
But we're like that
area.
last little group of people that's like, no,
Millennial
just
X.
pull up your bootstraps and you just get to work. But no, there's fucking mental health, especially in our family. Did you meet our grandfather? I mean, you met our grandfather.
Show to the
Unfortunately,
year.
he has passed away.
It's not unfortunate that he's.
Okay, well,
It's probably better for the world he's not here.
it is what it is. But it's a sad thing because he had issues, but his generation refused to acknowledge the issues.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's crazy we don't take care
Yeah,
of
we
our
don't.
health for
I
mental
mean, especially as Americans, right? Like, and it's funny because I was watching a video one time, right, and they were talking to French people about how Americans, we don't go to the doctor.
It's true.
Like, we'll have shit that's wrong with us, and we won't go to, even if we have health insurance, right? Because you think about France, they have their socialized medicine program and stuff like that, and theirs is.
But
it's
people
not.
shame you when you go to take time off of work.
Yeah, and that's the way it is, right? So people will be legitimately sick, or and yes, if you have depression, you're not alone with it, right? A lot of people have depression. Antidepressants are one of the most commonly prescribed medications, right? And because of our lifestyle and the way we live, sometimes they're fucking needed, right? You have chemical imbalances in your brain. They're not the most prescribed because we overprescribe them. They're the most prescribed because fucking chances are you need
A
them.
lot of people need them.
Yeah, and
I worked 60 hours last week, and and I talked to Mom last night, our mom, and she's like, "What you want to learn film, and I want to learn to be better. Really, what I want to learn is I want to learn how to properly edit and properly film things, right?" And she's like, "What are you gonna
have to do it?"
So, what? Yeah, pretty much. So she goes, "Well, what can
I'm
you do
gonna
with
learn how to
this?
cook."
What can you do with that?" And I'm like, "Mom," I said, "Mom, you don't understand. I barely have time for my own physical health, let alone my own mental health. I worked 60 hours last week. I worked 40 this week. I only worked 40 days, or 4 days. Not 40 days, I'm sorry. 4
Can't work 40
days.
days in a week.
40
that is
days and
impressive.
40 nights.
Days.
No wonder you have mental
I
health
worked
problems.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I still put in an average work week of a human being.
It's crazy.
Next week, I'm going to work 10 more hours or 20 more hours than the average human being. And I am considered a piece of shit if I say, you know what, I think I need to stay home because
need a day off.
something's wrong. I don't feel right. They made me feel like a piece of shit when my dog, I'm sorry for those who have children, he is my baby boy.
I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
He had straight diarrhea and he was not feeling well. And I was like, oh my God, my baby boy is not feeling well. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm going to be late today. I got to make sure he's okay. And my boss was like, fine, like, why don't you just bring him in? I'm like, okay, cool, I'll bring him in. And everybody loves Milo when I bring him into work. Because that's like his favorite thing in the world. I think he does it so I go to work. So he goes to work with me.
Yes,
because
he purposely gives himself
I
diarrhea so
know.
he can bring him to work.
But because everybody's like, oh my God, it's Milo. But they love the guy because he's a great dog, but he's my baby. And I just kind of thought about it yesterday when I had him with me. I was having a shitty day, and I had him with me. He wasn't feeling right. I'm taking him out every hour or so, and he's just pissing out his butt. The poor guy. And people made me feel like shit because I said, no, the most important, outside of like you guys, the most important living creature in my life is not feeling well. He might not be another human being, but he is an important creature to me.
It still releases it triggers
does.
the same brain waves your
Yes.
pet does
Yeah.
as a child.
Yeah.
You drove me to the vet when I had to give the okay to put Crichton down.
That was just
And Crichton she was evil. I loved her though. She was evil. But it devastated me.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Matthew,
It's
I
a
remember
loss.
you were like, I don't know what to do. Like,
Right.
I was a fucking disaster for a long time.
I felt
when she died.
super shitty that day, right? Because that happened to be like the day where I was in nothing but back-to-back meetings where I was the person in charge of every fucking one of those meetings. And I'm like, dude, I want to.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I know.
You know damn well that I want to
My
be there
baby
for you.
girl died.
I want to help you as much as I can, and I want to do what I can for you. But like, holy shit, I can't. Right? Like,
Yeah.
I can't even get up to take a fucking piss today.
12 years of my life. I mean, she died, and it was so fast. She got liver cancer, and there was nothing we can do. I would never put a dog down unless it was something extraordinary like that. Like, she was literally suffering. But it was, and my best friend, who I've known my entire life since I was 11 years old, who has 2 boys, he was like, no, Nick, your child died. He was, I get it. It was rough. So anybody who ever tells you, and tells you, you just need to tough it up and come back to work, it's just a dog, is a piece of shit human being
Yeah,
who's never
like-
owned a dog in their life. And if they did own a dog and that dog died, they're still a piece of shit human being because they felt no remorse for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, people do that with humans too. I mean,
I've had
Sure.
Milo.
I mean, look,
That is
Oh yeah,
true.
actually, the
Yeah.
boss at my dealership, we had a technician. His brother died. He went to his brother's funeral. That boss said in mechanics, said, "Why aren't you in? Your funeral's over."
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? It doesn't take one
and I
day.
flat out told that individual that if my brother passed away, who was one of my best friends, I would have come to work, punched him in the face, and we would have had to call the cops to pull me off of it.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm sorry.
There is one person. Oh my god.
It's awful.
And Brandon knows who this person is.
Yeah.
That if I ever saw that motherfucker in my life with the chief of the boat, that
fucking asshole.
you would have to pull me off. Right, that guy. I went up to him and I told him, if I can't go, like it was right before I was supposed to go on watch, right, and I was gonna be standing petty after the deck, and I was like, if I go on watch, right, it's an armed watch. I will have a gun on my side. I will fucking kill myself today. Like, it's going to happen. And that guy called me, like, so I got confined into, like, they took me to the hospital and they put me in the fucking plastic room and shit like that. And I was there for about 24 hours. And when I came back, he called me a liar and a piece of shit and said that I was just doing this because I didn't want to be in the military anymore and blah, 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 and all that shit. Like, oh, yeah, we know.
And this is a very common thing in the military.
Yeah,
that
this
happens
happens
too.
all the fucking time.
Mental health is pretty much a joke to
Yeah,
most people in the military.
They'll
I mean,
say.
most people in the U.S., honestly.
I mean, your physical health is a joke to the military
It's
too.
sad.
Yeah,
And it
so
needs to be
I
fixed.
had this guy that I confided in, right? I told him all my fucking problems, and I was very open with him on what happened, and I got called a fucking turd and a piece of shit and a liar and whatever. Like, honestly, if I saw that dude on the street right now, you would have to call the cops because I would fucking kill him. Like, I would beat him. His face would be liquid by the time I'm done, and I would not feel bad about it at all. The shit that guy, what he said, still to this day.
You know what's funny? When Crichton passed away, I called my boss. I texted him. I didn't even call him. I couldn't. You guys remember? I couldn't even talk. And I texted him. I said, "Look, Crichton passed. I'm not coming in." I was out for like 2 days. And I could barely make it through that day that I went when I started back. That one individual wanted to say something to me like, "How dare you be out?" But then my boss stepped in, my direct supervisor, because in a dealership, it's weird, right? You have a director, and then you got a parts manager. It's kind of a weird situation. The parts manager hires everybody. He's in charge of parts. That director really can't tell him what to do. But at the end of the day, I still kind of work for that director. It's a very strange thing. I used to be a parts manager. I got out of that shit. That's too stressful. It's stressful for a normal human being, and let alone someone who is fucked up. So, and that's why I'm very gray. If you ever see my picture, I'm very gray because of it. I've always said it's because of maybe.
It's just because he's old.
It may be because I'm old.
I mean,
Might have two problems.
Burke will probably do.
It might be a combination.
Why not both?
But my boss stepped in and said, "You say that to Nick, and he comes unglued on you, I'm not firing him. You deserve it. You need to shut the fuck up now."
I mean, look at it, like last year, last July, my dad passed away.
Yeah.
Like literally right
Holy
before I was
shit.
supposed to start my current job.
Yeah.
And I sent them a message like, hey, like I have to go back and take care of my mom, like make sure everything's okay. Like I'm gonna be gone. I have to delay my start. and yeah, I mean I didn't expect any pushback. I already knew who my manager was. Like he's a really cool guy. But they literally went to him and were like, "Did you okay this?" They're like,
Oh, yeah.
Who the fuck is gonna say no?
Yeah.
Their dad just fucking died.
So I
That's one of my issues with corporate America. Yeah.
I was talking to him, like, because me and Brandon used to work. I actually got him hired at that job, and he. So I was talking to our boss at that time, and I was like, "Hey, man," "Hey, I'm pretty sure you've heard by now, but like, Brandon's not gonna be able to start that day." And he's like, "Yeah, I heard." And he's like, and my boss sent me, and he's like, "HR actually asked me to approve a change of his start date." And he was like, "How the fuck would I ever, like, the dude's dad died. How would I say no? And I was like, if you said no, I would quit.
Yeah.
Like, everyone
Matt would have quit, and it would have been a very, very short tenure for me because I would have quit immediately too.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, if you said no to that, dude, go fuck
The fact that
yourself.
technician did not come back and light up that particular manager is fucking amazing to me.
I wouldn't have come back at all.
I
I
would
would have
seen
ended
it.
my employment.
I
don't
would
give a
have
shit.
had to because I would have hurt him.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Right. Well, there's another individual who worked with us, and he was a good man. He was a really great guy, and he did quit. And and I understand why. Is his child had? I'm an asthmatic, so I understand. She had a severe asthma attack. He had to call out. He's like, "Look, my kid's down. She's 14 years old. She's down. She's in the hospital."
Yeah, when that happens,
He calls him up and goes, "Well, she's in the hospital. She's secure. So why aren't you here?"
Are you fucking kidding
He
me?
just simply—that's exactly what he says. Are you fucking kidding me? He goes, "You know what? I'm not coming in today. I'll be in tomorrow, and we're gonna have a conversation." And he lit that motherfucker on fire, and I was so proud. I applauded, and he did it in front of God and everybody. And I was like,
Yeah, I'll just
Good
say
job.
this. I don't give a fuck if you're the president of the United States. Like,
don't
and
care if
you're
you're
in the
fucking
middle of a
God.
fucking
Family
war
comes
room.
first,
If something happens to your family, there's someone
Yeah.
else that can fucking take care of whatever
Yes.
you're doing.
That's
There's
one of the-
nothing important in a job that where you like. We had a guy who had a fucking heart attack working on a car, and he's like, "I gotta finish this car." I'm like, "Dude,
Are you
it's a
kidding?
fucking car. It's a fucking customer. They will fucking get over it. You are dying. Your life is more important to
Yeah.
me. I barely know you." That your life is more important to me as a guy who works with you and has learned to respect you as a human being than that fucking car.
That's-
Go home. We called 911 to get him out of there. He was dying. He got resuscitated twice.
Just hearing these stories like that, there's a problem with America when people
There's a problem
are
with the
saying
car business.
that
I'm not sure if it's
you-
just
It
a car
happens
if
in every
something
business.
really
That's the problem.
happens to your family and they're not understanding of shit
There
like that,
is-
that's a
I
problem,
mean,
guys.
even non-emergency situations, people are terrified
Yeah.
to take time off
Yeah.
because they're
Agreed.
scared they're going to get
I
fired.
saw what made me delete my LinkedIn profile. Right, I was done. I don't have any social media profiles except for anything I do to promote this. Right, and if you guys ever, anyone listening ever wants to contact me, you can contact me. I pretty much run the Bicker Bunch
I've thought about it, but
Twitter and Instagram, and then I have my own Twitter and stuff like that, right? If you guys want to contact me, you can, and I'll talk back to you and shit like that most of the time. But, like, I don't have my own personal social media accounts, and that includes LinkedIn. And one thing I saw is right now COVID is completely ravaging India. And I had a lot of Indian colleagues, right? Like, I work
Same.
I work in
Yeah.
IT.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
And the shit that's going on over there, right? And there was a guy in India who posted a picture of himself in the hospital in India and was like, "I'm sorry, I'm going to take some time off. I have COVID." And like his whole message was just him apologizing for taking time off. And the fact that he felt, even if he just, I think he felt that he had to justify the fact that he wasn't going to be working anymore, right? And that's where I think that came in. But even if he just wanted the attention for it or anything like that, the fact that he felt that he had to do that disgusted me. It made me sick to my fucking stomach. And I immediately, as soon as I saw that, I deleted my LinkedIn profile. And that's kind of the point where I said, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not working the way this is anymore. I can't, if people have to justify being in the hospital for COVID and being like, "I'm sorry, like this disease that's killing fucking shit tons of people over here," I'm like, no, I can't do
what's
it.
funny? My boss, my direct supervisor, my boss, and I love the man. He's a great human being. He is. I will stand by the fact that, yes, he's a Trump supporter, but he's a great human being. Put your politics aside. When I got my COVID vaccine and I was down, he went up to a friend of mine who I helped get a job here, and he's a very good friend of mine, and he was like, "No, Nick got a shot. He's going to be down. He's out. He's hurting." And he goes, "Okay, that's a free day off." right? When I got back, the guy in charge of the parts and service walked up and he's like, well, where's your time off? Where's this? Where's that? I'm like, man, I got a shot yesterday. I said, here, I'll give it to you, but give me a minute. I just got back. I had 102 fever. I was sick for that. It hit me weirder than it hit everybody else, but it hit everybody differently. And my boss goes, no, don't you dare fill that out. It's a freebie. I'm giving it to you. And guys like him and I was one when I was a supervisor. I used to run dealerships. Guys like that are rare. And I respect my boss a lot. Like, I think he's a great man. And I'd stand behind him for anything. And when I was, and reason why my good friend is here working, because he used to work for me. And I always believed if you treat people well, you will always have good people.
Yeah.
Regardless. And if you look at the departments, the two departments, parts and service, the parts department is so good. And that service department is so fractured because they're run by a madman. And the parts department is run by a good man. And it's like, wow, what if the world of corporation, the corporate world, and one of my issues with the corporate world is they don't look at that. They look at numbers. The madman makes the numbers. The good man doesn't always make numbers, but the good man builds a team that supports and they grow year over year. At the end of the year, we make the numbers. We're not, every month we don't have great numbers, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the year, we're fucking amazing. And people are like, wow.
When you look at it too, and if you ever start at a company and the first thing you see is like you're talking to somebody and then suddenly that person's not there anymore, and like that happens repeatedly, like fucking run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there's something
It's
something wrong with that place, and it's you spend most of your time at work, right? Like most people, I'm in a different situation because I collect disability from the government. I don't necessarily need to work, and I suddenly realized that, and so I'm now chasing my dreams in what I want to do and what I enjoy doing, and part of that is sitting around the table and drinking beer and talking to people, and some of that's going to learn drawing and painting and shit like that, and there's nothing that anywhere I ever worked with would keep me from like supporting my family, right?
Yeah.
Like no matter what, at the end of the day, that company can fucking burn to the ground and I will get another job somewhere else, right? Like everyone in that company could go bankrupt and die and be homeless. Like I don't give a shit because I have people I need to make sure are okay, right? And so what? Like I think we ended something very similar to the last episode where like your company doesn't care about you. You're a number. Mm-hmm. And that's especially true if you've ever gotten an email and that email said your employee number is this. You're legitimately a number to them. And they may say they care. And that's one thing, maybe I'm jaded from what I was told in the military and call me a piece of shit and a liar and stuff like that. They don't give a fuck.
It depends on your manager, because I am lucky to have a company where they actually, you can tell them, hey, I could wake up tomorrow and be like, hey, I'm sick, I'm not coming in, or hey, my family member's sick, I'm not coming in, and they perfectly understand. They don't ask questions, they just let me do it. I can literally do that, which is nice. And and I do have a good manager that will fight tooth and nail to get us what we deserve, like how much we're being paid and stuff like that. So it depends. Sometimes you do find a nice company.
Like you're lucky.
But it's not a lot of them.
Yeah, and the thing is too,
It's not a lot of
you can
them.
have a good manager. Like you can even have like a good
It's
your
the really
manager's
high
boss.
ups.
It's
Sometimes.
HR.
True.
Like I've been companies where my manager was great, but I was contacted by HR people and
Yeah.
they had no idea who I was. I was literally just a number
depends.
to them. And if anything had gone wrong, I would have been gone.
Oh, I'm
There was
sure. My
nothing-
HR probably doesn't know who I am either.
My
So-
HR knows who I am because she thinks that our HR rep thinks I'm really cute. And her and I get along really well.
She's wrong.
She's not
Wrong.
For a 40-year-old man, I am a stud.
Wrong.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know if cute's the right word, but
But I will say we have gone way over what we
Yeah.
typically slot for this.
There's a lot of things. Yeah.
But there's a lot of things, and I did not realize that it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and if I did, I would have
Devoted more time, maybe.
devoted some time to that, because that is a big thing, and maybe I'll devote some time to that next week.
I mean, yeah.
Because I'm a huge
I even have stories on that too.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
all
if
of
you've
us do.
lived and you've really lived and you've acknowledged life and the hardships of it, you've had.
You've had.
yeah, right.
There's
And
people who ignore it.
it's the people who bottle it
Yeah.
and they cowboy up and man up and shit like that. Like those are the people that fucking kiss my ass. Like
They stormed the White House. I mean, they stormed the Capitol building. I mean, let's just be honest. I hate to say that, to put those kind of people in one area. But what is the problem with the biggest issue in America is not Democrat versus Republican. I mean, I'm considered libertarian, I guess, loosely.
oh, great, all
I'm
of our
very
viewers
loosely-
are gone.
I'm loosely, right? I'm loosely that. But what I believe
Who
is
doesn't
being
love a
happy.
hedgehog?
At the end of the day, I believe in being happy.
Yeah,
And the
Yes.
problem is in America,
Humans need more
we've tied
happiness.
happiness into owning a home, having 1.2 children, or
Two and a half.
2.5 children.
2.5.
Excuse me.
Got that last
And-
children in half.
Three children just way too
Just
much.
weird. Somehow you can't have three
Entirely
children.
way too much. Well, I mean, when you're my mom and,
and
you're from a
make
family of
just
20.
enough money to get by. When
Yeah, live paycheck
my
to
goal in
paycheck.
life, and the reason why I want out of the car business is because I realize that I will work in the car business until I die, or I can make
Change it.
shit. Regardless of the shit, I can make shit until the day I die, and I would
Yeah,
rather
right.
make
You may
shit
not be
that
rich.
is my own.
You
But
know-
you will be happy.
You know, even if for
Happiness is the greatest pursuit of man, and it's the only pursuit that's worth it.
Isn't
even-
that like the First Amendment or something?
No,
Something in
that's
there?
the
Second-
First
that's freedom of speech.
Third?
That's the first rule of objectivism, actually. Is
Somewhere in there it says
Happiness
pursuit
is
of
the-
happiness.
no, that's how it opens.
Oh, okay. See?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, life, liberty.
I knew it
and
was
the
somewhere.
pursuit of
Life,
happiness.
liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yep.
And then the French.
We
is-
forgot that.
The
We've
French-
somehow tied the pursuit of happiness
I had too many
into
drinks. Sorry.
you got to work 1,000 hours for your life,
The French version.
and how
is very
dare you
similar.
do what you want to do? Because what you want to do is weird, and I don't get it. So therefore, it's not good. And we would do what you. I did what other people wanted me to do for a long time, and I'm now starting to do what I want to do, and I love it. I'm
Great.
happy, and it's awesome.
It's the
Yeah.
best.
Liberty, equality, fraternity is
Not
is
happy enough to
friends.
not buy a bunch of chunky monkey ice cream
And let's
Tampons.
not buy a bunch of chunky fucking ice cream and a fucking shitload of. That's a lot of
That's so
fucking
good.
vodka for one person. I hope she had a pity party for two at least, because that's a lot of
yeah.
I
fucking
mean, her
vodka.
girlfriends came over.
Maybe.
Probably.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and
Even then, I can't. There's a part of me that wanted to go with that driver and ask her, "Where was that? Was that in this building? Because if it was in this building, can you tell me what number? Because I want to
I'll
go
go
meet this
comfort
person."
her. No,
yeah,
I'm
I just
kidding.
like
I
give her a
didn't mean
hug
it
or
that way.
something.
But I want to.
I don't think that was a good idea.
It might not have been.
Where is she?
Where is
Yeah,
she? I
find
kind of
her.
want to meet her.
Probably a good thing you didn't do that.
Where
It's
is
probably true.
where is the lady that needs ice cream and tampons?
That's a great note to end on, I'm sure.
You know, when you
Alright.
put it that way, it's way wrong.
Where's your Inspirobot quote for
Oh, I'm
the
not
evening?
prepared. I'm ill prepared.
I don't
for
know.
this
His was pretty
fireball.
fucking good. That we can
That
close
would be
on that.
that would be awesome if that's when Inspirobot pumped out.
That is not what I'm.
That is the best one ever. Are you kidding me? That's awesome.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy.
You're never going to beat that. Let's let it go.
All right, so yeah, thanks for.
How about this Inspirobot quote? Boyfriends don't last forever.
There we go. And
Get
that's
chunky monkey and
That's
ice
actually
and,
perfect.
and vodka and tampons.
thanks for
Poor
listening.
lady.
Hope you enjoyed the banter. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Toodles.
Have a
See
good,
ya.
good one.